Here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin, and I hope you all are having a fantastic Thursday. We are, of course, coming to you live here from the Illinois Media School here in Lombard, Illinois. Again, wherever it is, ladies and gentlemen, Darren, I hope it is just right. And unfortunately, as you probably can tell, I am not here with Drew Gwellum, unfortunately. He could not be here. But Brett Monfrères, because I do have the wonderful man himself, possibly the most beautiful beard in all the land. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. TJ Knacker is here with me in studio as always. TJ, how you doing, man? You looking good? You look like you're feeling good. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's another exciting Thursday. I'm excited about some football tonight, so it should be a fun time.
Oh, yeah. God, I keep forgetting. That's right. Thursday night football, folks. It is here. It is happening. It's now. I love the fact that we get this for the NFL. Well, folks, it is football jam-packed because I was banking on Drew being here for this, but I still got my man TJ here. We're talking football all the way through from the pros to the college level. TJ, you ready to do this, my man?
Let's do this thing.
All right, folks, here we go. We're going to start this one off here in the local city of Chicago. That's right, the Chicago Bears. Shockingly enough, they won. Who would have thought? 20-19, the final score against the San Francisco 49ers. An incredible effort all the way through and through by the Bears. Just a really solid game, I would have to say, all around for a first game out. Obviously, there's a lot that needs to be worked on, but for the most part, first and foremost, I just want to say player of the game for me, I gave it to the whole defense. They put in the work. They made supremely good tackles. Dominique Robinson, of all of them, really stood out. The young rookie they got from the draft, he played extremely well. Eddie Jackson getting an interception. They played an extremely good game. Defensively, they played an extremely good game. TJ, for you, the Bears beating the Niners, something that obviously this could have gone either way in this game. Very wet and rainy and soggy for sure. But what did you think about this game against the Bears? What's your overall take from Chicago beating the Niners here in the first week?
So, I mean, I actually enjoyed watching the game because it reminded me of some of those old games. Some of those, kind of rock 'em, sock 'em, like the black and blue.
Yes.
Stuff. Now, I also know that the Bears are not going to be the world beaters. But, you know what? You do the best with what you have. And I really liked, as you said, the defense, because that hits defense and trying to get, turnovers.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. It just made me, I'm like, ooh, like they're punching the ball out again. We got the peanut punch again. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh my, you have a defense that's forcing fumbles and not going to try and let these guys, they're not allow you to beat them and then try and give the offense some chances. I mean, they made Trevor Lawrence really, really scared. And I mean, he looked like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, he couldn't do much, but yeah, I mean, that defense, that was the MVP for me too.
This defense, just to talk on them, they looked like defense of old. This is the Bears defense that we know, right? Roquan, by the way, playing into that linebacker position really fits well. I mean, he fits like a glove there. I mean, 9 total tackles. He came in with half a sack there with Dominique Robinson. He played extremely well in this game. Everything was geared towards him making plays. He did it. I don't know if this is enough to earn his money, but he stepped up. Kyler Gordon was third on the team in tackles. He had 6 tackles, played that nickel corner position pretty well. I'll even give it to Kindle Vildor. I don't know if I think it's because the rest of the defense really is up kind of a little bit more, but it feels like he got a lot more support on this. Having the nickel corner in Kyler Gordon, having Jalen Johnson on the other side, having Jaquan Brisker over the top, I think that's now giving him more confidence to say, I don't have to do everything, right? Because last year, who was helping him out, right? It was Gibson, and Gibson's okay, but Gibson was not really the answer at safety. Let's just be honest. He really wasn't the answer at safety. Brisker, by the way, Brisker looks like he's going to be a special player. Looks like he's a special player. Again, he allows Eddie Jackson to go free. Eddie Jackson got the interception in that game. It looked like Eddie Jackson of old was able to roam a little bit more. This team feels like they're getting back to that old way. And like you said, TJ, that hits principle that Eberflus has been preaching since he got to the Bears, they're embracing it. I think you have to say they're really embracing it. They're flying to the football, getting aggressive. Like you said, Jalen Johnson with the peanut punch was great. Oh man, that's a nice little homage to such a great corner coming from your number one corner too of all players. That's a nice thing to see, and that shows that this team is now starting to get more aggressive, like we saw in 2018, right? Even though that was Nagy as the head coach, obviously Eberflus, and I will even have to say credit to Alan Williams as well, the defensive coordinator. These guys have them on a trajectory that now says, look, like you said, TJ, they're not going to be world beaters, but they're going to be good enough, I think, to at least make some. They're going to punch some guys in the mouth. They're not going to just kind of play the protection game, right? They're going to throw a few jabs here and there on the defensive side. But look, on the offensive side, let's focus on that because that's a big question, right? How'd the offense do? It varied. It varied. They've got a lot of work to do, right? The offense, it's very clear the offense has a lot of work to do. But the main thing that I think we can all take from, and I think it's due repeating, right? When we've talked about it, obviously with guys like Matt Nagy and stuff, and you go down the list of Trestman and all these guys. We said it on Blow the Whistle. We'll say it again. TJ, you know what I'm about to say. It happened at halftime. We've never seen it in a long time. It's called adjustments. We saw the offense actually make adjustments. Luke Getsy, from the numbers you saw, it changed immediately, right? Justin Fields goes from 3 for 9 for 19 yards and an interception in the first game. Not a good look. Then in the second half, he's 5 for 8 for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. One touchdown, by the way, which is all his athleticism to Dante Pettis. That was an incredibly well-produced touchdown for Justin Fields, working on his ability and his athleticism. That touchdown by St. Brown, I don't know if anybody else saw this, but if you look at that play, Byron Pringle's also open. So that's on Luke Getsy's offense. So that means it can work, folks. It can work. TJ, what did you think about the offense? Obviously, not as productive as maybe we would have wanted to see it, but certainly we saw adjustments at halftime. What did you think about it through this game?
Well, you're absolutely correct. I mean, that was amazing to see someone who is not almost like full of themselves, like, all right, this is what we do in quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. They actually went into the stadium and went, okay, so this is where we're going to see if it works. That didn't work in the first half, so now we're going to try and change that. Hey, okay, so they're going to pressure Justin on his blind side. Hey, so when I hike it, maybe you need to pull the guard needs to pull a little bit further and kind of push towards the tackle, or start making some changes, and then, maybe, okay, we need to run. Okay, hey, Justin has a problem with this right now. We need to kind of help him out on that blind side. Okay, he's going to run. Okay, wide receivers, you know what to do. And I like that, but the one thing that I was very sad about, and you know how I feel about it, come on, tight ends. Help them out. Get open. I mean, I was looking. It's just supposed to be like the Cole Kmet, like homecoming game. Like, this is your game to come out. It's wet. It's muggy. It's raining. You're a big man that can catch the ball. Mm-hmm. Give him that little slant that he can throw it instead of having to run around the backfield. just help him out, please. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, they did a decent job, but if the conditions were a little different, I don't know if they would have won with that offense.
Yeah, that is the real big thing, obviously, in this, is that it was the rain really hit the field. I mean, by the way, I misspoke on the score. It was 19-10, Bears winning 19-10. Apologies, I screwed up on that score. Don't worry about it, though. Game over with. It's over. They won. But nevertheless, obviously, it was very soggy out there, right? They had just put in that new, what is it, Kentucky bluegrass, right? They put in, correct, TJ?
Bermuda grass.
Bermuda, that's right, Bermuda. But they had just put it in, but even days before the game, basically, and then it downpours, and I thought the grass was going to pick up and float away for a moment there. It was soaked. This should have happened months ago, clearly. Clearly, if you're going to do this, it should have happened months ago. So, and I don't know much about grounds, but I figure the ground's going to settle. It can kind of set, and then the water's not kind of sitting on top of it like like it was gonna start to overflood and go to the lake. I felt like all of a sudden Soldier Field was gonna uplift and just shift over to the right a little bit, and off they go on a sea adventure. TJ, what'd you think? I mean, it was disgusting. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't be shocked. I mean, if anyone who's had the pleasure of going to Soldier Field for a game or to go to the planetarium or the aquarium, you know that there's nothing. You know what's underneath there? Concrete.
Yes.
Concrete and parking spots.
Yes.
So you really can't expect. So I would assume that, yeah, that's why they were using the bushes to try and get the water. I think the drainage actually, hopefully, is either going into Lake Michigan or going somewhere else. But yeah, that was crazy.
I'm almost of the opinion at this point. Listen, I know this city pretty well, and I know the surrounding suburbs pretty well. And if it rains hard enough around here, tell me I'm wrong, TJ. Tell me I'm wrong. The system always floods every time. The draining system always at some point, if it rains enough, it floods the streets. That's what I felt like it probably happened at Soldier Field. Am I wrong to say so?
No. I mean, I at one of my previous jobs, it would rain, and I would know that they would flood the viaduct would flood.
Yeah.
And we'd end up having to go out a back way, and I would be like, okay, so what was in the way? And they'd be like, oh, it was like 3 newspapers that were across it. And I'm like, 3
newspapers?
Are you kidding me? That had to be like 400 gallons of water.
Yeah.
There was a car stuck in there, and there's it was newspaper and just a little bit of dirt and stuff. I'm like,
yeah, we got the Sun Times together. We got we got the Tribune. We stacked them together, right? That's how you do it. I still do that to this day. When water potentially leaks, just to hide it. So it's Chicago tradition at this point, honestly, folks. But I mean, listen, those field conditions were awful. By the way, funniest moment of that has to be what's his name, Gill patting down the field with the towel, or Santos, whatever, and the obscure penalty of unsportsmanlike conduct for illegal object on the field for trying to clear a spot. That is hilarious. I love that. It sucks because it took him out of field goal position. Obviously, they didn't need it, but I just thought, it's downpouring and he's trying to dry them. I know what he's trying to do, but I feel like it's a wasted effort because it's still raining. There's not much you can do at that point. It's very funny though, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have brought a shop vac out there, I'd been like, yeah, okay, yeah, you got a chance, but yeah,
that would have been good.
That towel didn't have a chance.
Yeah, like what was it in the Dolphins Patriots game, whatever? The guy that comes in with the snowplow to clear a spot real quick, right? What was it, back in the 80s or something? He came in with the snowplow, cleared a spot real quick for the kick the Patriots, I think, to beat the Dolphins or whatever it was. It was insane.
Yeah. That's why you see some of them that if you watch some of the older games, you see them with the snowblower blowing out the 10, the 20, the 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just came in.
Everywhere else is going to be kind of up to you. The snow is going to blow, but we're going to give you an idea of where the markers are.
Absolutely.
So, good luck, though.
I mean, well, and shout out, by the way, I forgot who was carrying the game at that point. Escapes my mind right now, but they had the lines up automatically on the screen for everybody to be able to see. I like that. That's a really awesome kind of thing to have. It just feels like it's only going to be used right now at Soldier Field, unfortunately. And Lambeau, right? Because Lambeau is Lambeau still grass? Remind me, TJ. Are they grass or are they field turf now?
They are a mixture. They have artificial and they have a mixture of, and then they have a whole heating system underneath it.
That's right. Yes.
I'm really hoping that if the Bears' new stadium is grass and it does not have a dome or a retractable dome, that it has that kind of heating system underneath. So, if it does snow, that you could kind of melt it pretty quickly, or not actually have it be on the field.
Yeah, that would be nice. Now, by the way, that heating system, for those who don't know, that got put in the Packers back in the 60s. When that was whole new brand new technology, folks. And the Bears, still nothing. Haven't done it yet. Just saying, way behind the times. Real quick, too, for the offense, obviously the offensive line, very up and down with them. I thought the run blocking was good. I thought they did a fantastic job, but the pass blocking, obviously, they need a major tune-up on that. And as you can see here, look, Braxton Jones, give this guy some credit. Stepping in as a rookie at left tackle. He has to take on maybe the best defensive player in the NFL, Nick Bosa. He got bullied sometimes, but overall, for your first time in, I mean, it's a welcome to the NFL moment. I thought he did a decent job. You know, he's not going to win every single battle against Nick Bosa. He's just a proven great commodity. And then obviously, look, you got Tevin Jenkins, who's starting in at right guard, which I thought he did okay. I thought he did a good job. He had one play there where he's blocking his man, and then he came and got a chip block off of Nick Bosa on the right side, which I thought was really good, helping out Borom so that Nick Bosa couldn't get the quick, easy sack. So, look, I think more snaps at right guard. I think you're going to see this offensive line get a lot better. I think Tevin Jenkins will eventually. These guys need more time together, right? They did not have hardly any time playing on the field with one another to actually get a feel for what their game is. Like, look at Lucas Patrick for the first time is playing the center spot with all of these new guys now in the offensive line. It's a whole new world for everybody. So I would say give him more time. This line will get better. It won't be one of the best. Certainly, I don't think will be one of the worst, but I think they certainly can get better. They're just going to need more snaps. But I think there's something there. There's zone blocking, everything. They just need more work on it. It's going to need more fine-tuning with this offense. It's just plain and simple, folks. That's all it is. All right, well, look, the Bears, they've got a game coming up, right? And we just talked about it up there in Lambeau Field. They're going to be taking on the Packers. They're in Lambeau, so Green Bay is right now actually favored. Even though Green Bay, my goodness, boy, they looked bad. They did not look comfortable at all. If you didn't see it, it was a 23-7 loss for the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers didn't even throw a touchdown pass. His rookie wide receivers made mistakes, and Rodgers completely dipped away from them. It was not a good game for the Packers. And because of that, even still, the Green Bay Packers are favored by 10. The over-under is sitting at 43 right now at this point in time. But overall, I mean, for the Packers, losing that game to Minnesota, I mean, look, they didn't have any... for a defensive back system that should have been able to shut down Justin Jefferson, they couldn't find an answer for him. He was too good. Now, the Bears don't have a Justin Jefferson. They have Darnell Mooney and a handful of other guys, right? But, all right, Packers are favored, and the over-under's at 43. I mean, TJ, how you seeing this one go, man? What do you think? Packers, Bears at Green Bay. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of excited about this and kind of not. I really, I mean, we've gone on record. I'm not a really big fan of Aaron Rodgers, and I really am kind of still upset that he got away with his natural drug use.
Yes, of course.
And nothing happened because he found a loophole.
Right.
Yeah, I was so upset, but I can't. See, I just can't say that he's not going to win the game for them.
Right.
But I also know that he doesn't really have anyone to throw to. I mean, they did not really do him any favors last weekend.
Yeah.
So, I think, yeah, the spread, I don't think I think it's going to be a close game. And 43, honestly, I think I would take the under on that. Honestly, I think this is going to be a defensive matchup, and it could be one of those, 10-7 games. I don't see it being a blowout, because Aaron Rodgers, I don't think has anyone to throw to anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. Look, Aaron still had 195 yards passing. Funny enough, actually, Jordan Love came in this game, went 4 for 5 for 64 yards. For a guy that we would criticize, he played pretty well for the small. He had a better quarterback rating than Aaron did, that's for sure, because Aaron Rodgers threw the interception. I don't know if they're going to be better this game in. I mean, they're going to have to get better connections with Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. Watson had the drop. Dobbs was out of position, and then Rodgers just completely went away from them. Their lead receiver was A.J. Dillon, their big 240-pound running back. Okay, you can't do that and win in this league. I'm telling you that right now. You cannot do that in this league and win. Their only touchdown was also from A.J. Dillon as well. I will say, I don't think the Bears are going to cover on this necessarily. I think Green Bay will still get the win in this. I will take the under on this, though, because I do think Green Bay will find a little bit more into their offense. but it's mainly due to the fact that the Bears still have a long ways to go in terms of how they work. And it's not going to be because of the defense. I think it's because the offense will have more mistakes, right? Justin Fields, I think, will throw another interception. There'll probably be another fumble. There'll be more missed opportunities from the blocking game. There's a lot to the offense, like we said, that still needs to go a long way. This is going to be a hard test. I don't know how Green Bay's defense is right now because they just got nailed to the wall by Justin Jefferson. He's really good, by the way. He is really, really good. But I don't think they're going to hit the over. I agree with you. I think he'll take the under on this. I will say Green Bay probably wins this one. You know what? Actually, the Bears may cover in this if it's at 10. I'll say Green Bay. I'll give them at least like 5.5 or something like that for Green Bay to win by. But yeah, I think the Bears could easily cover it for sure. But I also have the distinctive fear, like you said, TJ, this may be a game where the Bears may not score a touchdown. This may be a very, very low scoring game because if Rodgers can't get in the end zone and you only score 7 points, I mean, the Bears were lucky enough to get 19. I just don't know. It's a toss up at this point. But let's say Green Bay 5.5, and I'll say the under on it. So that'll do it for the Bears here, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do it for our Chicago Bears, our local team. But coming up next, we're going to be talking about what happened in the NFL for the previous week. Plus, it is our NFL Pick 6 games, folks. Coming up next here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. And welcome back, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I'm still Andrew Valentin. I'm still here with my man, TJ Necker, and we just got done talking about the Chicago Bears and what has an interesting first game, let's say that. But they get the win, so congratulations to the Bears beating the 49ers. But, folks, it's that time. It is NFL Week 2 we're talking about. But before we get to Week 2, let's do the recap of the previous week. This is the NFL Week recap. Here it is, folks, the Week 1 results, the top 10 games of the week. And as you can see, a lot of upsets in this one, a lot of interesting scores here and there. But overall, I felt like it was a pretty weak game just because, week, if you will, just because it felt like some of the stars were not producing to the same level. But I'll get into it here. TJ, the top 10 games are up there. I mean, what are your thoughts about these games? Which ones did you really caught your eye? Which ones really surprised you? Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually kind of, in a way, I was surprised and also kind of felt a little vindicated with the Buffalo Rams game because some people did not like my comments about Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, he's Buffalo's is way too good.
Yeah.
Way too good now.
I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, the other ones, I mean, I wasn't shocked. I mean, I was shocked with Atlanta again. Like, Come on, Atlanta, please. Just hold a lead. just finish it out. And, I mean, everything else, I mean, Dallas, the Tampa-Dallas game, that was sad. I mean, it's like
that was ugly.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Dak. Like, you're hurt again. this team, like, so, yeah. And then the Seattle-Denver game, that Monday night game. Like, I was not expecting Denver to come out like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Well, listen, folks. I mean, I'll just give a little quick synopsis on these top 10 games. So, listen, Buffalo, Los Angeles, like you said, TJ, you should feel vindicated. You know why? Because Matthew Stafford played terrible, and I think it's a lot because it's new offensive pieces, right? It's a little bit of a newer defense. It's a new offensive coordinator too. Liam Cohen's a new offensive coordinator, so the offense is probably going to change a little bit. Allen Robinson had 1 target for 12 yards. Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee were really the top receivers for that team. I mean, you can't beat them that way. Buffalo, by the way, Josh Allen's amazing. Okay. Von Miller is still one of the best pass rushers in the league. There's a reason why they paid him $120 million for 6 years. He's worth it. He got 2 sacks on his old quarterback. Clearly validated that on all the way. And Cam Akers, I still think, is most overrated running back. I think he'll get his touches for sure. He'll make some plays. I think Darrell Henderson's the better running back in this. Los Angeles, they'll bounce back, don't get me wrong, but it may take them a little bit longer to get to where they want to be as repeat Super Bowl champions. I don't know what else to say for the Falcons. They can't hold a lead. This team is not really built to win games. The fact they even had a lead over the Saints is amazing. Jameis Winston played well. I'm still not convinced on him to be a star quarterback, but I think from what I saw in this game, whatever he learned from Sean Payton is carrying over. And I think that's a good thing. So at least he's learned something, and that's most important. Joe, you hurt me, man. Burrow, you hurt me bad. 4 interceptions, and they were bad interceptions. He played terrible. And 5 total turnovers. I think he will bounce back, don't get me wrong. I think this was a bit of an enigma game, Super Bowl hangover. I don't know how healthy he is, right? All that kind of stuff. I'm not making excuses. He still played bad. But when you see that they're stuffing Joe Mixon at the line, what are you going to do? You're going to throw the ball more. And the Steelers did a really good job defensively. But here again, folks, the Steelers could not punch it in when they needed to because Mitch is not dynamic enough to put the team in the end zone. And Jamar Chase gets in the end zone, tied ball game. They got to go to overtime, and Boswell has to kick the field goal. I think the Steelers will struggle more. At some point, they're going to start Kenny Pickett. Jeez, Philly, man, they look like they're going to be really good. A.J. Brown is loving life right now with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is loving life right now with A.J. Brown. I got a feeling Philly's going to be really competitive. I will say, though, the Lions offense, they got numbers. They put up some 35 points is nothing to bat your eyes at. Their defense needs a lot of work, but their offense is going to produce. They're going to stay in some games again. Dan Campbell, I think, is on the right road, folks. Boy, Patriots, man, they look befuddled. Mac Jones hurt his back, it sounds like, but he looked confused, man. And this is, again, you don't name an offensive coordinator, you're not going to have great offense. And Tua looked good.
Yes. And Mac Jones does have an offensive coordinator. He didn't even one, but multiple offensive coordinators.
Yes, he does. He's got Matt Patricia and Joe Judge and Bill Belichick and Steve Belichick. He's got 5 different people in his ear telling him what to do. Because that's how you do it, right? Offense by committee. I don't think so. Look, Tua looked good. They played a really good offense in that, right? They got the ball to the playmakers. I thought they did a solid job. Completed a lot of passes. Look, they're going to win ball games. Don't get me wrong. I think, when it comes to the better teams in the league, like the Bills and all that, they're going to struggle because those teams are going to give them some fits. But it's a good first win. You beat Belichick. That's a good first win right off the bat. Look, Baker played well. Give it to him in Carolina. Baker played well. I'm only going to say this now. Matt Rule screwed that game for Carolina. He's just not a good coach. I can't do anything with Matt Rule anymore. I can't. Matt Rule, I think, has played his way out of Carolina at this point because he just lost to Baker's old team, right, by 2 points with Jacoby Brissett quarterbacking the team. And he didn't really even play all that well. He didn't play bad, but he didn't play well. That run game, though, killed them. They had no answer for Nick Chubb, and then Kareem Hunt found a way. He stole my points, by the way, in fantasy, but he found a way to get in the end zone, as he does. Cleveland, look, if they keep going like this, when Deshaun Watson gets back, they could be a playoff team. They actually could, and I hate saying that. I hate it, but it's true. I don't even know what to do with the Titans anymore, man. Ryan Tannehill looks like he has a really good game. It's the Giants. I know, it's the Giants. Nobody's there in the Giants. But Derrick Henry can't even get started. He took a hit, by the way. He took a hit. And I think Derrick Henry's starting to realize, I think the NFL is starting to realize, oh, so he is not immortal. We can crack his armor. I give the Giants a lot of credit goes to Dable. He called a huge play. That play to Saquon Barkley to win it, that's a gutsy call. That's what gets you wins. I give him credit. They got the win. Tennessee, they're going to have to reset. Mike Vrabel might find himself a little bit more on the hot seat as we go along in this season. Boy, the Raiders-Chargers game was good. I know it was low scoring for what it was, but I thought it was still a good game. I know Derek Carr threw some interceptions, but this is the kind of game we're going to see from them, right? This is what we're going to see. We're going to see this division is going to destroy itself while putting up incredible numbers and points.
Exactly. This is exactly what we expected from the AFC West. That you're going to have these games that are going to be knocked down, drag out, and it's going to be by 3 or 4 points.
Yep.
Because everyone's so good in the West.
Absolutely. And look, even though Derek Carr didn't play well, he still did a great job rallying the team and everything. So I give him props on that. Obviously, I think you have to. You know, he did a good job making sure that everybody was on their mark. But Justin Fields, listen, the Khalil Mack trade right now is paying off dividends. And I think having Joey Bosa on the other end is absolutely helping him out. Good defense, everything's there. The Chargers really could be a threat. I may have to eat my words on this, but I'm still banking on the Raiders. I still am. I still have hope. Yeah, like you said, TJ, that Bucs-Cowboys game, Dak's out for 6 to 8 weeks with a broken thumb. But Jerry won't put him on the IR because he says, no, we don't need to do that. Which is stupid. I'm sorry, Jerry. You are idiotic for that. You know what this feels like? TJ, tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe you may disagree with me. It feels like Al Davis post-Super Bowl in the 2000s when he was drafting Jamarcus Russell and Sebastian Janikowski and all these guys. Like, it just feels like Jerry's really... He's had some great draft picks, don't get me wrong. But it feels like they're really putting hope on hope for nothing. Am I wrong to say that?
No, not at all. Actually, yeah, it seems like that like, I've had a good run. Don't you remember? I drafted this guy, and I drafted this guy. Yeah, but that was then, not today.
Right.
And as we've seen in other sports, too, if you were good in another era, that doesn't mean that you're going to be good today.
No, it doesn't. This guy is still convinced that running the football strong and playing strong defense is how you're going to win games. Now, granted, in the 90s, yes, you had Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was a great quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback. Do not get me wrong on that. But when you really look at that Cowboys offense back in the day of the 90s, I would have to say it centered a lot around Emmitt Smith running the football to set it up. And then Troy Aikman throwing the ball to Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper, for those that remember Alvin Harper. And, you know, Daryl Johnston coming out of the backfield as a fullback, tight end kind of guy. Jay Novacek and all those guys. Hey, I know my old 90s Cowboys. I shouldn't, but I do. And then letting that defense go hunt. And they were great, and they won 3 Super Bowls. But that was 1990s. It's 2022, where now throwing the football is now more important than ever. Having your quarterback healthy is more important than ever. Letting Amari Cooper walk, I think, is seriously going to hurt the Cowboys in it. And losing Tyron Smith and saying, well, we ride on the back of Ezekiel Elliott. You can't do that. Because he's a Hall of Fame offensive tackle. Tyron Smith is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I guarantee you. I've never seen somebody so dominant before. He's going to be there with Trent Williams and all those guys. They're going to all be there. But you can't do that anymore. You need Dak. And all they got is Cooper Rush right now. I don't think they should trade for Jimmy Garoppolo now. I think they should just take the loss, get a high draft pick, and reset. Honestly. Just wait for next season. And then last but not least, listen. Nathaniel Hackett, props to him for coming out and obviously saying, I own that for the 64-yard field goal attempt. You got to know your kicker, though. You got to know your kicker. You got to know that Brandon McManus has 1 for 8 from 60-plus yards. Let Russell Wilson get the 4th down. He easily could. Throw it to a tight end in the flats, get the 5 yards, get the 1st down, move the ball up the field. By the way, on that last play, I don't know if you saw this, TJ. Jerry Jeudy was wide open on that 3rd down play before the 4th down. He throws that to him. Jerry Jeudy either goes for a touchdown or he at least gets it to like the 20 or 15-yard line. then you can kick the field goal and win the game. It's a lot easier than trying to kick it 60-some yards. I don't know. Am I wrong on that? I mean, if I am, tell me I am, but I don't know. It just...
No, you're absolutely correct. He was open, and yeah, if you know what, if they were in Mile High, I would have been like, you know what, yeah, kick the 63-yarder.
Yeah.
But in Seattle,
Look, Russ had a still good game, 340 yards, had a touchdown. That Jerry Jeudy, by the way, balled out. I think he's going to get a lot better with this team. They're going to get to know each other a little bit more. Denver's going to be a threat. They're going to be a threat. I think Nathaniel Hackett just needs to calm down, let Russ do his thing, play through the offense, and let Russell Wilson do the rest. You're going to have a good time. I promise you, Denver. It's going to be good. All right, listen, folks. That's going to do it for the previous week. Let's do it. It is Pick 6 time, ladies and gentlemen. We pick the top 6 games for the NFL in this case, and we talk about who we think is going to win or lose. Give you all the numbers. TJ, ready to hit this?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, folks. All right, first up, we've got the game tonight. Chargers at Chiefs. Boy, the Chargers go right from the Raiders to the Chiefs. What a jump, man. What a start. What a start for the week, by the way. Thursday night, Bills Rams. Thursday night, Chiefs Chargers. Thursday night is becoming the game of the week, it seems like. You got Kansas City right now favored by 4. They blew out the Cardinals, by the way. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be just fine. 5 touchdowns to 4 different wide receivers for 360 yards, 30 for 39. I think Tyreek Hill is going to miss Patrick Mahomes, or then Mahomes is going to miss Tyreek Hill. But Kansas City favored by 4. Over-under is sitting at 54 right on the bot. What do you think, TJ? Who's winning this one, Chargers or Chiefs?
Okay, so my guess, I really love the Chargers, but I also really just can't underestimate Patrick Mahomes. So I'm gonna say that the Chargers will cover it.
Okay.
But I'm also taking the over because
Okay.
I think this is gonna. I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna find a way to get it over the top of that defense.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting it to be like one of the Bills game last year, that it's going to end up being like one of the NBA All-Star games, 163 to 158.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Chargers. I don't think no, I'm taking the Chiefs. What am I saying? I'm taking the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes. Nothing against Justin Herbert. I think he still has a little bit more growing pains he's going to have to go through. This Chiefs defense looks like it can still hold its own for the most part. Losing Tyrann Mathieu is going to be huge, but they look like they can still hold their own. They still got Chris Jones and all those guys on the line, so expect a good pass rush. I'm expecting Travis Kelce to have a big day because I'm sure J.C. Jackson and those guys are going to lock those receivers down. So Travis Kelce will have a big day. I like their running attack too, by the way. Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they did their job. They did it. They're a nice 1-2 punch. Nice backs coming out of the backfield to catch the ball, run the ball. I think they've got something there. Speed is the name of the game with the Chiefs always. And they've got plenty of it. Juju, by the way, looks like he's having a little bit of a comeback. I can't wait to see what happens when they get the rookie more involved. Sky Moore. This team could not even miss a beat. They lost such a top-end wide receiver, and it looks like they could not even miss a beat. I'll say the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs can do this by a full touchdown. I don't know if the Chargers even cover on this thing. I think the Chiefs may go full touchdown, maybe even 10 points on this, and I definitely have to say the over on it. All right, let's go to the next game. The next game we've got Commanders at the Lions. And folks, for the first time in I don't know how many years, the Detroit Lions are favored in the game by 1.5. And the over-under is at 48.5. TJ, Lions, Commanders. Can the Lions do it? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Lions can. I really think that, they're trending up. I think I'm hoping that the defense will get kind of back on their feet, and they're young. They're going to get exposed at times. But I think that's going to be the big key for them. And the Commanders, I just can never bet on them now. I keep seeing them, and I keep thinking of this dysfunction from the top to the bottom, and I'm like, really? I just can't put any money on them. So I'm taking Detroit. I think they're gonna get it by, I'll say by 5, and
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna take the over again because I don't know how good the defense is gonna be on either side of it.
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit too. I'm taking Detroit. I think they can absolutely run away with this game if they want to as well. I'm gonna say Detroit. I'm gonna say by 4.5. I'm gonna say Detroit by 4.5. I think they can absolutely take control of it. And I know that's not really taking control of the game, but I got a bad feeling that Washington, even again this last game, right? What was it? Carson Wentz threw 2 interceptions, still threw 4 touchdowns, but still threw 2 interceptions, and they were bad interceptions. So I don't, and listen, most of the receiving yards went to his running back and Antonio Gibson. So unless they can take them over the top in Detroit, you know what? I'll go with the over on this as well, but I'll take Detroit right now on 4.5. I like the Lions. I think momentum is moving their way to get a win against Washington right now. All right, next we have with us the Bucks and the Saints. Tom Brady did Tom Brady things. The Saints obviously had a great comeback there against Atlanta and just ruined their parade. But right now, Tampa Bay is only favored by 2.5, and the over-under's at 44.5. TJ, Bucks, Saints, who are you picking for this one, man?
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks. I just still can't bet against Tom Brady, even if he is 60 years old and in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'd be like, he's still gonna get it going. He's gonna do it. He's gonna pass for 300 yards.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm taking him with the spread. I'm taking him. I'd say him by 10, me personally.
Okay.
And then yeah, you know what? I would go over, but a very cautious over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it being a blowout. I think it's going to be probably 46, 47, if that.
Okay. I think I may actually go with the Saints on this. I'm going to go with the Saints on this. Look, the comeback, again, it's Atlanta. I'm not going to... It is what it is, right? Tampa only putting up 19 points, though, against Dallas. Unless Dallas's defense is very good, right? Micah Parsons, whew, that boy is good. That boy is really good. David, your boy from Penn State is really good. I'm going to say the Saints. I'm going to say the Saints by 5.5. I'm going to give them plus 5.5 on that. I like the way that they played. I think they have enough firepower there to compete with what Tampa can throw at them. Julio played good in that system, by the way. He'll play again while Chris Godwin's still out. I think him and Tom Brady have that just resurgence to work with each other. But I still think the Saints will find a way to win. That Saints defense, by the way, still very solid. Still very solid. I expect them to have a bounce back. It's Tom Brady, I know. But I feel like the Saints defense will find a way to get some turnovers against Tom Brady. And I'll say it hits the under, I think. I think this hits the under. I honestly do. All right, next, we have the Patriots at the Steelers. New England did not look good. Pittsburgh just barely hanging on for a win. New England, though, still favored in this one by 2 points. And the over-under is sitting at a low 40.5. TJ, Patriots, Steelers. Where you feeling this one's going, man?
So as much as I'd like to say the Steelers, because I want to believe in Mitchell Trubisky, and yes, it is because of your reason earlier. The Bears drafted a really good player, and they just didn't develop him right. But I'm going to have to go with the Patriots. I think Belichick will get it done. Mac Jones, he'll be serviceable. I think it's the battle of 2 serviceable quarterbacks. They're not going to be great. They're just going to be okay. They'll make mistakes, but they'll meh. So I will take New England by... Yeah, I'll take New England with the spread. So I'll take them by like 3. And I'm going to say under. I just don't think either one of them are going to be able to get on. I mean, they're going to both get in their own way. So I'm going to take in the under for sure.
Okay, I like that. I'll still take the Steelers. I know TJ Watt right now is going to be out for 6 weeks. He's on the IR. He tore his pec. They were saying possibly into the season. Now they're saying 6 to 8 weeks potentially. So we'll see. I'd say Steelers. I'll take the Steelers on the +2 on that, though. I think they can certainly cover this. And I think they can win this too as well. So I'll take +2. I'll go 2.5 even on the Steelers as well. I'm definitely taking the under on this. I think Minka Fitzpatrick will step up. Mac Jones looks frustrated. I think Belichick is kind of not losing his touch, but I think because he's brought in guys that have clearly not succeeded with Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, and that sort of brings in that negative energy. I think there's a lot of up and down from that Patriots team that's going to happen here, but I think they're hitting a down period right now, so I'm expecting the Steelers to win this. So yeah, +2.5 on the Steelers, and I'll say under on them. All right, next we've got Miami at Baltimore. I said it before, Tua played well, and then obviously we didn't talk about the Baltimore Ravens game, but they did a good job against the Jets. Although I will say, for the Jets' sake, Ahmad Gardner looks fantastic. He had one catch against him all game for no yards. That's incredible. And I know Lamar's not the best thrower of the football, but still, they had a good game. But it's Lamar Jackson versus Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins-Ravens, 3.5 for Baltimore, 44.5 is the over-under. TJ, who are you picking, man?
So I am going to take the Ravens because I think if it were down in Miami, I think I would give a little more to Miami, being with the heat and all the humidity. But at the Ravens, I think home field advantage is going to get them, and I think they're a better team out of the heat and the humidity. So I'll give the Ravens. I'll take them. But yeah, I'm going to take 7, and then again, a reluctant kind of under. I think as you said, I don't really think that Tua is going to be that great of a quarterback. I don't know how long they're going to leave Lamar in there if they're up. So they'll take the under for sure.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to take Baltimore. I'm taking Baltimore actually by a full touchdown, just because, listen, the Ravens right now look healthy. They look like they know exactly who they are. I think Miami's they looked good, by the way, against the Patriots, but I think they're still trying to figure some things out. And Baltimore's defense, I think, is a little bit more heads and tails on them. Better corners, better safety, a lot more is there for the Ravens defense than there is for, I think, the Patriots. So I think the Ravens can find a way to shut down Tua, shut down Tyreek Hill, kind of lay them down a little bit. But I'll say Baltimore still by a touchdown. I'll take the under in that as well. Lamar, I think he'll still have a good game for what it was, but I don't think he's going to score a ton of points. And even still, I think the Dolphins may only come out of this with like 10 points at best. Maybe 13. At their very best, maybe 13. They're going to struggle, I think, a little bit in this game. So, yeah, Baltimore by a full touchdown, and then I'll take the under on this from 44.5. All right, in the last game, this is one of the two Monday Night Football games. Let's not forget the first Monday Night Football game is the Bills-Titans game, but I think the Bills are pretty much going to dominate the Titans, just putting that out there. But I like this second game. It's the Vikings against the Eagles, right? It's because of all the things in this, right? Justin Jefferson, the team it's the Eagles passing on Justin Jefferson for Jalen Reagor, who they cut, who I think is a Minnesota Viking, if I'm not mistaken. I think. Don't quote me on that. And obviously, it's A.J. Brown versus Justin Jefferson. It's Jalen Hurts versus Kirk Cousins. There's a lot of things here. But Philly's right now favored by 2. The over-under, though, is at 50.5. Both teams had great wins. TJ, Vikings, Eagles. Who you got in this one, man?
I'm going Eagles all the way. I mean, that's I was impressed with them. I was impressed how. I mean, that's. Yeah, do you like Eagles?
I like the Eagles. Yes, that was good.
My friend from Philly was like.
I was like, it took me a hot minute, and then I was like, oh, he did say that.
Yeah, the Eagles. Yeah. They're like, yeah, the Eagles are playing tonight. I'm like, who the heck are the Eagles?
Yeah, the Eggos, they play in the Toaster Bowl.
So I'm taking them. I'm gonna take definitely. I'm gonna take them by at least 7. And the over, I'm gonna have to say over because I don't know if I think it's gonna be another one of those shootout games. So I'm definitely going over in this one.
I can't. Kirk Cousins has bit me too many times with the Monday night stuff. He has one win on Monday night, and it's against the Bears, ironically. That's it. He has never won on Monday night. I don't think it starts now. I think the Eagles are too hot. I think they know who they are. They're laying into it. They had 4 guys score rushing touchdowns in that last game. 4 guys. So I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm actually going to take the Eagles by 9.5. I think this is going to be a little bit out of control on this. But I do also agree with you, TJ. I think this could hit the over because the Eagles defense lets 35 points against Detroit. This is Minnesota where they've got Thielen and Jefferson. I don't know where Dalvin Cook's at, but he sounds like he could be healthy. And Madison, they've got weapons. And Kirk Cousins, for all we give him crud, he's not a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback, maybe even a very good quarterback. He's just not a great quarterback that'll get you to a Super Bowl, I don't think. And he dresses like your dad going to church. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that press conference thing where he's dressed in like the button-down shirt that was tucked in?
I didn't see that, no.
I wish I would have grabbed the photo. I should have. He looks like the camp counselor that just is addressing the whole group of kids as they've just come in for the assembly hall. And, welcome everybody to Camp, Nokahawa or whatever the hell you want to call it, right?
I did see that. I saw the meme that said the father explaining how great it or how even it is to cut the lawn in the track. I'm like,
yes!
That's so good. I was like, where did I see it? I'm like,
yes.
Was that really someone that was up there? And now you're telling me it's Kirk Cousins?
That's Kirk Cousins, yes. That was his post-game conference outfit. You dress how you want. It was very comical because the dude looks like the dad that should be in the TV show that should be like the neighbor, like, get off my lawn, that kind of guy. It's so funny. It's so funny. But sorry, Kurt, you're not winning this game. It's not even close. All right. That's going to do it for the picks and predictions. That's going to do it for the NFL for the week and the past week. Obviously, let us know, guys, who you think's going to win for the week. What'd you think about last week's games? Let us know in the comment section on Facebook and on YouTube. And when we do come back, we're doing the same thing again, folks, but we're doing it with college football. That's coming up next here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. Welcome back, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I'm still Andrew Valentin. I'm still here with my man in the back, Mr. TJ Knacker himself as well. Look at that beautiful beard, man. Just a very luscious. God, I'm so jealous, man. It is a beautiful thing, man. And for somebody who said he was going to shave it off at some point too, it's
Nah. No, not yet.
It's great, man. It's great. I love it. We all love it. Obviously, again, if you want to vote on who has the best beard between all the boys up here, obviously use the hashtag and hashtag it with your favorite. TJ, David, myself, if you want. Probably not. Or, of course, Drew. I'm trying, folks. I'm just going to work with the goatee, I think. I'm just going to work with that. Well, folks, it's college football time. We had an exciting past week, and we're going to look at the results here. It's the past week for the college football. Let's put them up there because, whoo, baby, there was some real dog fights in this one. Just from the get-go, obviously, look, Bama, man, there were so many moments they could have lost that game. If Quinn Ewers stays healthy, I know. If the field goal goes through from the 20-yard, maybe if that would have been a safety, I don't know. There's a lot of, I can play the if game all I want. But I will say this, Texas just showed everybody that they are coming back on the rise, and Alabama just showed you that there is a weakness in their team. There is something there that you can stop them. So credit goes to Texas for this. A&M, I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know if anybody saw this, but there's an article out there from USA Today where one of the writers was talking about Jimbo Fisher and basically called him a charlatan, a fraud, basically saying he was not meant to be the head football coach at A&M. Good recruiter, absolutely a good recruiter. Best recruiting class of all time. But clearly cannot coach that football team to save his life. Just an absolute mess. Am I wrong, TJ? I mean, you lose Appalachian State.
Yeah, I mean, you can give a little bit to those smaller schools, and I'll talk about that, but, to kind of get hyped up for playing, at Texas A&M. But, yeah, you lost to Appalachian State. I'm not taking anything away from them, but if I remember correctly, was it about a month and a half ago that we were talking about that Alabama was upset that Jimbo was taking all the best players and he was cheating and he was stockpiling all these guys, and it's like, so when I heard that, I walk into it and I think, you're going to blow out Appalachian State.
Yeah.
You have the talent to actually, put up one of those, 70-3 numbers.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm looking, I'm like, where is your team? Where are those guys that you were supposedly, stealing from Bama and the other schools and paying them too much?
Yeah. God, I guess we have to give credit to them because, listen, this is the same Appalachian State team that put up 61 points against UNC, right? They put up a basketball score against UNC, which is what you would usually see in a basketball game, but it was a football game against UNC, not a basketball game. So I agree, though. I think Jimbo Fisher, at this point, I think he's on the hot seat. If he can't get it done soon, he's going to get fired. I'm not saying he's going to get fired this year because he brought in a good recruiting class. But by next year, if that team is not in the college football playoff, expanded or not, if they're not in there and competing, he's getting fired. How much longer can you hold on to that guy? I know he's got the contract, but you will find another head coach to actually get it done because he's not going to get done. Then you had the other upset. The Sun Belt, man, had a day. Because you forget, Marshall's in the Sun Belt now, and they go up against Notre Dame in South Bend. In South Bend. And the Irish can't do it. They lose 26-21. Like, they were losing 26-15 with like a minute left in the game, and then Notre Dame scored a touchdown in the 2-point or whatever to give them the lead or whatever it was. But God, I can't. They're not ranked anymore, by the way. They've fallen out of the ranking now, and rightfully so. They're 0-2. They're not playing well. Their quarterback got hurt, I know, but still. David's right. TJ, would you agree with David that they are maybe the most overrated team at this point in the year, starting at number 5 on the year in the rankings?
Being a Notre Dame fan, it's really tough. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to say that because it seemed like everything I heard during that game was basically Marshall got ready for it last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
they brought in their guys. I think they brought them in like Wednesday to walk on the field and get used to that stadium, get used to that feel. And it's like, well, what did Notre Dame do to get ready for them? Hey, get your jersey on. You got to go play.
Right.
Like, it seemed like Marshall was more prepared. And, yeah, like, I want Notre Dame to win. But, like, it just seemed like it's like they were like, they went to their head. They're like, oh, we were number 5, and all of a sudden now it's like, well, do we really have to play those teams?
Yeah.
Can we just stay number 5 the entire way and just kind of breeze through this? No, you have to play.
You have to play.
Sorry, sweetie.
Yeah. And, boy, they're not playing well. I think the problem right now, I said this against Ohio State, I think their defense is getting tired. They're getting out there too long, and they're just getting exhausted by the fourth quarter. They can't establish a run, and when Notre Dame can't establish a run, that's really where they kind of lose the ball game because their quarterbacks, talented as they might be, they're just not prolific throwers of the football. That's not their game plan. It's unfortunate, but, like Tom said, it's got to get ugly before it gets better. I don't know what that means, but whatever. If you look at Bama, it didn't get ugly before it got better. It actually just kind of stabilized, and then it got better. I don't believe in that, honestly. Baylor, BYU. Baylor's a better team. Jared Hall, I think, is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. They played a really good game. It's not really much of an upset because honestly, BYU I thought was going to win this game no matter what. I don't think Baylor's that good. They lost their quarterback to Southern Florida, Bohannon. He was more dynamic. He was a better playmaker. Sharpen isn't bad, but he's not a really top-notch quarterback. Jared Hall is a guy that might go in the first round. Sharpen's a guy that you'll probably never hear of another day in your life. Just not a good team. Kentucky and Florida. I thought this was going to be a great game. Anthony Richardson looked bad. He had such a dynamic game against Utah and a great win for them. And they go to 12, from unranked to 12. And then Kentucky comes in and they put pressure on him. They keep him in the pocket. Will Levis makes some really smart passes. And Kentucky wins the game in a simple fashion. They win it by 10. They just shut down the other team. They are going to be a good team here in the SEC, I think. I don't know if they're going to beat Bama in the SEC championship or Georgia. I don't think that's at all going to happen, but they're going to compete. They're going to compete. And staying in the SEC, excuse me, I tried to tell people Tennessee was back, and everybody told me we might be crazy. But Hendon Hooker, whoo, baby, that kid can throw the football. That kid can throw the football. That Tennessee team, by the way, is really good offensively. Their defense needs a lot of work, but they're going to be able to hang in with some teams on the offensive side. I like the way they played against Pitt. They could compete. I don't think they're beating the better teams in the SEC, but it's a good start for them. They can go into a pretty good bowl game if they get everything going. Wisconsin, man. I give you credit. I give you so much rope. I give you all this rope, and then you just hang yourself with it. Graham Mertz is an okay quarterback. I know he played well in this game to some degree. He's not going to be a championship-winning quarterback. Not by any means. Their defense, I think, is a little bit more dysfunction and befuddled. Washington State has a new quarterback in Cameron Ward who didn't really play well, but even still, he's so dynamic and he can throw the football pretty much anywhere he wants to. And I think he set Washington up perfectly. They made the right plays at the right time. It got them the win. Wisconsin needs to be more dynamic than just run the football with Braden Allen. You got to get the quarterback involved. Mertz has the ability. I do believe that. But he needs to become more consistent. He's more proficient. That Houston-Texas Tech game was really fun. I wish Texas Tech would have thrown more touchdowns than interceptions. Donovan Smith is a good quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be a top-rated quarterback, but he's good enough to get the job done. They need to upgrade their defense immensely because they're letting 30 points get on the board very easily for them. Houston's got a lot of work. They got a lot of work to go. They can compete. They just need a little bit more to get them over the hump. And Tyler, I am so sorry, man. I told him, I said this on the radio. I said, if they do not beat Georgia Southern, Scott Frost would be fired. And Nebraska somehow finds a way to get it done. They don't end up beating Georgia Southern. 45-42. Georgia Southern had over 200 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground against them. Nebraska still puts up 42, has a chance to tie the game with a field goal. Kicker misses it. Wide left. And what happens in the next few hours? Scott Frost got fired. And I honestly think he signed his death warrant at Northwestern. I honestly do. Those are the games. TJ, were there any that you saw that I didn't mention? Was there anything you wanted to say for any of those games that you had that I didn't get a chance to? What'd you think?
No, I mean I'm pretty good with that. Yeah, that Alabama Texas game was the one that I was watching. I was right on the edge of my seat with that one, and I was like, please, like Texas, you got him, come on, pin him down. And it's like, and they slipped out again. It's like, son of a gun.
And by the way, give credit to Hudson Card, the backup quarterback. Fracture in his foot, and he still plays. Running the football, scrambling out, making plays. Texas is on the rise, folks. This could be Steve Sarkisian's moment to finally say, I got a program going forward. Because that usually doesn't happen with him at all. So Texas is coming, folks. It's going to take time. But they got players. They got playmakers. All right, well, let's do it, folks. It's Pick 6 for college football. Let's do this, shall we? The top 6 games in college football for the week. Here we go. So first, we've got number 12 BYU against number 25 Oregon. Hey, what do you know? Oregon's back in the top 25 rankings, just barely. So yeah, BYU, Oregon. Oregon's somehow favored in this game by 3.5, and the over/under is at 57.5. TJ, BYU, Oregon. Who are you picking for this one, man?
I'm gonna go with BYU. I have to go with that. I watched Oregon, and it just kind of, I get again another meh. Like, it's what is it, like milk toast. It's there. Like, okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
You do a decent job, but I think BYU has better talent. I will take them by. I'll take them by. I'll make it close. I'll go 4, and yeah, I'm gonna take the over on that one.
Okay. Look, I know Oregon played better in their second game. They won that, but they got beat down by Georgia. Now, I know BYU is not Georgia, but BYU still has a quarterback in Jared Hall that will outplay Bo Nix. I think BYU wins this. I think BYU wins this by 10. I'm giving them a full double-digit win on this thing. And I'm going to say this hits the under because I don't think Oregon's going to score that many points. I really don't. I really do not. So that's where I sit with that for BYU, Oregon. 10 on the spread for BYU, and then the under for the over-under. All right, the next game we've got is number 22, Penn State. They're taking on the 2-0 Auburn Tigers. Penn State is favored by 2.5 on this. The over-under is at 47. TJ, who are you picking on this one, man?
I'm gonna go with Auburn. I just, after watching enough Penn State and hearing David with his woes about Clifford, I mean, I just can't bet on them. Like you won, that's great, but did they win in spite of you? So
right.
I'm gonna go with Auburn. I'm gonna say, I'll say by 7, and I'll take the over, but just barely.
Okay, I like that. TJ Finley is playing for Auburn, but he has not been playing well. Sean Clifford has at least been pretty much kind of consistent. I'll take Penn State on this. I think Penn State on the 2.5, I think, is where I'll sit at. And I will also take the under on this. I just have no faith really in either of these teams playing dynamically. But I mean, look, if anything you're going to say for Penn State, at least they have, I think, a little bit more dynamic offense because of Singleton, their freshman, a running back, Washington, their wide receiver, and, of course, they have Clifford at quarterback, who's been decently consistent at times, especially at the end of the game. So I'll take Penn State on the 2.5, and I'll take them on the under on that one. All right, next we have Texas Tech taking on North Carolina State Wolfpack. North Carolina State is actually favored by 10.5 in this one. The over-under is at 55.5. TJ, the Red Raiders are taking on the Wolfpack. Who are you picking in this one, man?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with North Carolina State. I mean, I think they're gonna be a better team after watching Texas Tech. I yet again don't have much faith in them, and for fun, I'll just take the under on this one. I just don't know if both offenses are gonna be able to get it done.
Okay, I'm actually going with the under too, but I'm going to take Texas Tech on this one. I'm going to take Texas Tech by a touchdown. I just feel like their offense, it may have had some mistakes, but they're dynamic. They spread out the offense a little bit more, their defense a little bit more. They have that, wide receivers. They go 4 or 5 guys wide. North Carolina State's got a good defense. They got a really good quarterback in Devin Leary, but I don't know if they're there just yet. They struggled against East Carolina. They won by a field goal by getting that 1 point. 21-20. I think Tech can come in here, win the ball game, cover maybe even on this one by winning by like a touchdown or so at the end of it all. So I'm going to say Texas Tech to win the game by 7, and then I will say the under on this as well because I feel like both teams may not score a lot of points like you said, but I still think Tech can win this one. All right, next we have Michigan State, number 11. They're taking on the undefeated Washington Huskies. Washington is actually favored in this game by 3.5 points. The over-under is at 56.5. TJ, the Spartans are taking on the Huskies. Who are you picking on this one, man?
I'm taking Michigan State on this one, and I'm going to take them by. Yeah, I'm going to take them by probably 6.
Okay.
I think they're going to do a job. every time I think Michigan State's out, all of a sudden they come roaring back, and it just, yet again, it's one of those teams that I can't bet against.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna take the under again. I don't know yet.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm actually gonna I think I'll take Washington. I'll take Washington by like 1.5 on this. Because I think Michigan State will keep it close. Michael Penix Jr. is the quarterback at Washington. He used to be at Indiana, so he knows his Michigan State team. Okay, that's one of the things. Peyton Thorne, I love you, man. I know you're a local kid here from Illinois. He's not been playing great, and he's right now probably one of their best offensive players, so he needs to step it up. So I think Washington can win this one. I'll give them the 1.5. I agree with you. I think it will take the under on this. I think it just will not be a high-scoring game because Peyton Thorne has not looked good passing the football. They'll go to the run game, and I think they'll get minimal points. But I'll say Washington still wins this one by at least 1.5. But yeah, I agree with it on the under. All right. And last but not least, we're coming down to the last two games. So it's the big one, folks. It is number 13 Miami against, I forgot to put the number on there, number 24 Texas A&M, because they are still ranked even though they lost to Appalachian State. They're the only team that did not lose to a Sun Belt team that's not unranked. So A&M is taking on Miami. Miami is going into College Station. So A&M right now is favored by 5.5 on this one. The over-under is sitting right now at 44.5. It's a tough matchup. It's the Hurricane right now looking pretty good. It's A&M coming off of a hard loss, obviously, in this one now as well. Forgot to put the loss in there as well, so they're 1-1. Sorry about that. But TJ, Miami, A&M, what are your thoughts, man?
I think it's Miami. I'm going to take the U going in there. I'm going to say I'll go 3. I think it's going to be a close game. As we were talking about before, I just yet again can't trust Jimbo Fisher. I just don't know what you're doing in there, in the huddle. So
yeah.
I'll take the over in this. I think being out in Texas, I think it's going to be a really good game, and I think Miami will travel well. So it should be a good game.
Okay. I'm also taking Miami. They look good. Tyler Van Dyke looks like the quarterback. Miami hasn't had a quarterback like Tyler Van Dyke probably since like Vinny Testaverde. Or, I mean, you could even go back to like Jim Kelly, guys like that. He's got a rifle. He's big. He's strong. He's got a good arm. He's accurate. Everything about him reads like a Miami quarterback used to be. He's really good. He's really good. I'm going to actually take the under on this. I think A&M can still score their points. I think their defense is still pretty good. But I'm taking Miami on this. I think Miami is going on the plus 5.5. I think they're going to have the good opportunity to take the win on this. I just can't with Jimbo Fisher anymore. I think you're right, and I think everybody's right at this point. I don't know if Jimbo Fisher is a good coach anymore. Sorry, I can't do it anymore, folks. You done it too many times, Jimbo. Maybe it just all aligned perfectly at Florida State, and that's it. And the last game, because I'm a glutton for punishment, why not? It is Mississippi State, undefeated, taking on LSU. And the reason I chose this game was, one, because I wanted to throw some LSU in there, and also it was the only game that I saw that wasn't like a blowout, where it was pretty close and it was two good teams. Mississippi State favored by 2. The over-under's at 53 on the dot. TJ, Mississippi State, LSU, who you picking, man?
I'm going to go with LSU. I think they have a chance. It's going to be a close game, so I'll take them by 3. And I don't have any much trust in either defense, so yeah, I'm going to take the over on that one.
All right, I'm going to go with LSU, and I feel like they're going to break my heart, but so what? Let's do it. I'm going to go with LSU. I'm going to say by 4. I'll give them 4. And I think it's going to hit the over. That LSU defense needs to really show some stuff. Now, I think they did well against Florida State, don't get me wrong, but they need to show that more pickup. They need to, especially against Mississippi State. Folks, let's not forget, this is the infamous man himself, Mike Leach, with that crazy passing offense. And Will Rogers, their quarterback at Mississippi State, looks like he could be another dude. So this is probably going to be a high-powered passing game, back and forth. I'm excited for it, but I'll say LSU by 4, and I'll take the over on it. And that's going to do it for us here, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the show. Obviously, let us know who you guys are picking for the college football. What did you think about last week? Let us know in the comment section down below. We want to hear from you guys as always. TJ, in the back, my man, my technical director, my co-host, everything that he is. Thank you so much, TJ, for everything that you do, man. I really do appreciate it. You do an incredible job. And it's always good to talk sports with you, man. It's always good to have you alongside here, man. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Well, please let the people know where they can find you, listen to you, all that good stuff, amigo.
Well, you can hear me I'm back here on Blow the Whistle as the technical director, and I'm also back here in X-Bomb, and I'm also a co-host every once in a while when Drew's not able to make it in. And if you want to find me online on Facebook, it's TJ Knacker, and on Instagram, it's Knack300.
Absolutely, guys. Make sure to go follow TJ. Give him some likes. Give him some love. Let him know he's doing an incredible job, because he is doing an incredible job. And be on the lookout for when we start doing new stuff. He's got some stuff coming up. We got some plans in the motion, folks, so be on the lookout for that. If you guys want to follow me, though, I'm at TheFluffyGuru on Twitter. You guys can find me at Boom Crew Captain on Instagram, as always. Make sure, of course, you can always follow us at our Facebook page, where you can get live updates. So like it, follow it. You guys can catch all the streams, all the updates, everything's like that that's going on with the show. Also, to make sure to like and subscribe and get notifications on YouTube at our YouTube page of X Bomb Sports. Just search it on YouTube. Find the big red X bomb with the big red background. You can't miss it. We go live every Wednesday and Thursday, 5:30, 6:30. We did not go live yesterday, unfortunately, due to the fact that we had some technical issues going on. So luckily, we were able to show out today. So make sure to catch us, though, every Wednesday and Thursday. Be on the lookout for that. Also, too, guys, if you want to catch us on our social media, it's at XBomb Sports on Instagram and Twitter, where you guys can message us, do us whatever you want. And, of course, if you have any questions or comments from our email, make sure to hit us up at xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. We love to hear from you guys, as always, as well. We'll run through these really quick, and then we're going to get out of here. It's Blow the Whistle on the radio side, Sports Down Chicago, 2 to 4 p.m. Mondays. You got Blow the Whistle on the TV side, 2:30 to 3:30 on Tuesdays. On the YouTube and the Facebook side, so be on the lookout for that. Catch our boy Brandon Januska doing his thing at 94.3 WMKR down south. You can also catch his podcast on Spotify and Odyssey and Anchor at Baseball Banter with Brandon. And also, while you're on Spotify, check out Money Motivation with Hannah B on Spotify, Odyssey, and iHeartRadio, and all places you can find her podcast. You can also listen to her on the radio at 102.3 XLC doing the afternoon drive, 3 to 7 p.m. And she's also doing her thing at 96.7 The Star in the morning. And it's Hannah B with Eddie V. That's Eddie Volkman doing their thing for the awesome morning show. So check that out as well, folks. Also, too, check out the boys at The Parlay, theparlay.com. It's Tony Lopez and former Chicago Bull and professional boxer Kendall Gill doing their thing. Come on, Jake Paul, fight Kendall Gill already, you wuss. And last but not least, check out the boys at the Fake Football Guys on YouTube. That's the Fake Football Guys on YouTube for all your fantasy football needs. Just search them up and you can find them. Look for that logo there in the corner screen. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our show. We will see you guys next week. Tomorrow, we actually might go live. We were planning to actually, believe it or not, go to the Live Golf event. So myself, David, and a good friend of ours are going to be going to the Live Golf event. And I know some people might not like that, but we may live stream it from there. So be on the lookout for that, folks. And we will catch you all next week as well. And as always, much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.